It's just such a treat to be here. Each time we come to an opportunity event, we see so many people that we know and love to be with, and we just wish when we go home that everybody lived so much closer so that we could see them much more often. But it does keep us coming back to all these events so that we do get together again. And so as we're all here tonight and we think about the next 40 years for Opportunity and the momentum that it now has to move forward, Gordon and I have thought a bit about our years with Opportunity and how we got started and what are the things that just keep us so involved. We first learned about Opportunity when a close friend came with a proposal for a small investment for Opportunity's work in the Dominican Republic and said, "This is an organization that is doing something that I think you'd want to be a part of." And then we were invited to a dinner in the Washington area with Opportunity supporters, and we were most impressed with not just their involvement, but how long they had been involved. Other people tend to often people work with a group for a while, and then they start doing something else. And we found that this is just not true with Opportunity. You could see how many former board members are here tonight. We then attended an international conference for Opportunity that year was held in Manila. And it's attended by people from all over the world, not just people who are Opportunity supporters, but all the people who were really carrying out Opportunity's programs in all the different third world countries. We were impressed with Opportunity's mission, which was focused on the future, helping people raise their standard of living and giving them opportunities that they had never had. The rate of repayment on loans was very high, and it still is. And so gifts given are used over and over again and therefore affect many lives. The entrepreneurs, most of them women, also focused on the future and most often used their earnings to keep their children in school, sometimes buying a uniform or whatever else was needed. Sometimes one uniform had been shared among several children, so on a given day, only one of the children could go to school. We met and talked with members of Opportunity staff, many of whom were people who were very highly successful in whatever careers they had chosen, but at some point in their lives, they just decided they wanted to use their talents that would more directly serve others. My years as a board member increased my understanding of Opportunity and all of those who serve on the boards. As board development chair, I know that we worked very hard to attract new members who would bring the talents we needed and who would help us develop the new areas where we needed to serve. And one of the very exciting things that has happened through a lot of hard work is that Opportunity's very complex organization has become much more integrated and has great leadership. There have been many milestones in Opportunity's work these last 10 years or more. Agriculture finance programs were launched in 5 African countries with the MasterCard Foundation and the Gates Foundation. Opportunity is also a leader in insurance available to clients, from life insurance to crop insurance with money for new seeds if there's been a crop failure. The payment schedule is tailored to be in line with when crops are harvested, so that clients don't have to get a loan at a very exorbitant rate of interest just before their crops come in when they have no money. And that loan might consume all of their profits when the crops do come in. And that had often been the case in years past. Education finance has also become a part of Opportunity's portfolio. Clients who get loans also get help in building their businesses and working with their schools. And information about taking good care of their crops is readily available. And health information for their families is available too. And as Vicki mentioned, personally, we're very happy that our family's involvement with Opportunity has now moved down another generation, as our son Bruce and his wife are very involved in many ways. And their two young children, who are now 5 and 7, have the opportunity to meet people from all over the world when they host visiting Opportunity clients and staff. Opportunity's history is a very exciting one, but the future, I think, is even brighter. Its leadership has never been better or more inspiring to all of us. I'd just say it's on a roll.
Well, such a well thought out speech is very difficult to follow. But I've been following her for the last 58 years that we've been married. As Helen and I became more involved with Opportunity, we were particularly attracted to their program in the Philippines. Opportunity was in the process of creating a full-service bank to originate microfinance loans and take deposits. Since this would be a regulated bank, it could leverage the deposits to create inexpensive source of funds to lend to microfinance borrowers. As a regulated bank, it would need to meet many regulation requirements. Since I had a depth of experience with banking in the United States, which included being chairman of a large bank in Los Angeles, Opportunity asked me if I would be willing to serve on the board of this bank. I was pleased to be able to accept this challenge and quickly learned that the culture of management and the board was a lot different in the Philippines than in the United States. For one thing, devotions and prayer were an intricate part of all meetings. From the time I left home and flew from Washington to Los Angeles to Hong Kong and then to Manila, 24 hours would have transpired, and I was in a time zone that was 12 hours from where I left. One time I arrived and from a trip to the board meeting, and it was just after lunch. When I walked in the door, everyone greeted me, "So there's Smith, how wonderful." And the president then asked me if I would lead devotions. Well, this isn't necessarily my real tack. And fortunately, they were singing a song before the devotions were to start. And I made some notes on what the song was. And when we started devotions, I said, well, as we were just singing, this and this and this happened. So that was an escape. And I did a very short devotion. Well, in addition to my devotions, I was able to give the bank some management and regulatory guidance. To provide more funds for the bank to expand to microfinance program, our foundation bought stock in the bank and made a significant deposit. From that beginning, OK Bank was formed. And OK was a thought of my son, who thought this would be a good name for the bank. Now, when you examine how OK evolved, it's very interesting. Go think back to the Civil War in the United States. At the end of the battle, or at the end of the day, the Union troops would gather and have tents around different groups. And the commanding officer would want to know how many people got killed that day. So outside the tent group, each tent group, they would have a listing: 5 killed, 7 killed, 3 killed. And the killed was not a very popular word, so it became K. So 2K, 1K, 3K, 5K, and then some had 0K. And that was OK. That was exciting. That was good. So OK evolved from 0 killed. So our bank in the Philippines now is still called OK, because we've had no employees killed, and no consumers killed. So it's okay bank. The bank is significant, and it's a full-service bank with a focus on serving the very poor. And it has evolved to that, and that type of bank has evolved to a mobile bank, and then ultimately to a cell phone bank. And very significant as well is the voluntary savings accounts, which are as important as the loans themselves. This banking opportunity provided by Opportunity caused the budding of an idea that has blossomed and has borne great fruit, whose seeds will be with us into the future. Microfinance borrowers, by definition, are poor, but are very hard workers. They have children, many of whom are smart and ambitious, but whose dreams of attending college would be difficult to realize. While working with the bank with Opportunity, the idea occurred to me that these very hardworking microfinance borrowers could be rewarded by providing funding to send their most talented children to college. Not as easy as it sounds. In 1 year, a couple of thousand of borrowers might have a child ready to go to college. Unfortunately, you can't help everyone. So a program was established with the help of APPEND, a Philippine organization closely aligned with Opportunity, to select 20 most promising students. These students were then brought to Manila for a final interview to select the 10 best. We were there once to help in the selection process, which was tear-jerking for us as well as for the student prospects, as only half of the students there could be selected. Over the years, the program has provided a college education for more than 60 students who could attend the very best colleges in the Philippines, which are located in Manila. The program included more than just attending college. Although different colleges were attended, all students lived in 2 common dorms. The APPEND program director meets monthly with the students to discuss both study and moral values. Students are given a modest sum for living expenses. They are very parsimonious in their purchases, and each month, most students send a modest amount back to their family. At this juncture, 37 students have graduated and 28 are still completing their studies. The graduates are finding good jobs. One obtained an important job with a large oil company. Another of the students who studied nursing and had passed her nursing exams could not find a job in the Philippines, which has an excess of nurses. So she went to Singapore, arguably the most sophisticated country in the Far East, where she found a job as a nurse's aide. Only 3 years later now, she has 48 nurses reporting to her. Another graduate is a science teacher in the International Baccalaureate School of Manila and the only female in the science department. Tomorrow, you will hear from Amina Mendez, who did so well during her first 2 years of college that she was one of those we came to move to Ohio Wesleyan for the last 2 years, the place where Helen and I met, for her last 2 years. She graduated summa cum laude and Phi Beta Kappa, and now is working for one of Opportunity's local microfinance groups. Think of that. Just 6 years ago, the daughter of a microfinance borrower in the Philippines village, now speaking to a large assembled group in Chicago. It will be a treat to hear you tomorrow, Amina, and we welcome your mother with us tonight. None of this would have happened without Opportunity, who opened a door through microfinance lending. Thank you, Opportunity.